Hey everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of DEI After 5. This one's going to be a little bit different. And so, one of the things that I have been thinking about for the last couple of days has been, you know what? We have been talking about and preparing you for what is happening right now. And so, what I want to do is use this as an opportunity to do the ultimate replays. I am going to share with you several episodes that we have done that have specifically talked about this time, what to do around resistance, how to deal with what's going on in the legislation, how to really think through some of this pushback or what we need to do to prepare ourselves even more for what is happening now that it is here. So what you're going to find in the show notes, in the write-ups about this, are the episodes where we've talked about this, where I've had guests come on to help us think about what we can do during these times, how we can prepare, how we can pivot, or how do we push forward. And so I am really excited to share these with you again, because I think now that we are in the midst of everything going on, you may find a few nuggets here and there that speak to you in ways that they probably didn't speak to you before. So take a moment, spend some time really diving into these, and let me know what you think, because I want to make sure that we're giving you everything that you need in order to be prepared and in order to have all of the resources and tools and services that you need. So take some time, dive in, share your nuggets, and until next time, have a good one. We're so focused on, and I'm part of it too, because a lot of my work is in that corporate space. But you mentioned being part of what's happening in legislation, being a part and having a voice and being an advocate in those spaces. And so talk to us a little bit about, the connection between those two and the level of empowerment that comes along with that as well.
Yeah, it has been so empowering to feel like I'm really a part of fighting against these bills. And they are directly impacting the workforce. We have an internal refugee crisis in the United States. There are hundreds of thousands of families, parents of individuals who have left their home states, have left their jobs because it is not safe for them to live where they
a lot of, and I wouldn't say all, but there is a significant amount of this resistance that is based around fear. It is fear of, it may be fear of a marginalized group coming up in the world, right? They're moving up the social ladder. And so in order for that group to move up, for some, they are interpreting it as they're losing out on something. It's like a scale. And in order for this part of the scale to go up, that means that this other part is going down. And that's not necessarily what people are advocating for. They're just advocating for the basic right to live, to love, to be who they are. Yeah. And so there is fear, and fear is a very...
So I think it's understanding that every single one of us has intersectionality, and also understanding that if we would actually take the time to have conversations, we might actually find that we have more in common than what separates us. So when we think about the languaging and the principles of bridging, oftentimes the way that I view it and the way that myself and my team teach on it is typically people are thinking about a bridge as you're on one end and I'm on the other end. And so we've got all this space between us, all this ground that we have to make up to figure out what connects us. And I like to frame it in the complete opposite. Let's get real close and let's talk about the things with some vulnerability, empathy, compassion, grace, right? And have those conversations about the things that matter most deeply to us. And we might actually find that we have more in common and we have less space between us than people might assume based on what we look like, where we grew up, what our educational background is, what's our socioeconomic status, whether one had.
Because I think this is important. I think that there are quite a few practitioners that are in this space. I call them practitioners of pain. They got into this space because, again, they haven't done their internal work. Mm-hmm. And so they have this pain that they're trying to ease and come into this space without having addressed or healed that pain, which then can, so there's a level of competence that comes with that, which then can cause some other issues down the line too. So I know I just said a whole lot, but
actually that, I mean, of course we deal with pain, we deal with trauma differently. But when we come to the work because of that pain and see the work as a fight, of that actually is pretty indicative of just the second stage of development. And so it is, and we do see it all the time. We do need to do our own work. And I have to go back to your comment about ERGs as well, because I've got a phrase that I use, kind of like your vegetables. How do we, I sneak in the vegetables, I think is what you say. What I say to lots of organizations that both turn their work over to ERGs or to volunteer councils, volunteer committees. I always use the analogy of, okay, let's just say you're going to completely overhaul your whole financial system in the organization. Are you going to turn that over to a committee of folks that like to balance their checkbook?
Right.
I'm guessing not. I'm guessing you're going to look for folks that actually have an expertise in finance. And you're not going to push that to folks that just say, oh, this is fun.
Right.
You're going to push it to someone that has experience and expertise. And again, that's what we tend to be lacking. And part of that too is, as you alluded to earlier, we're a very young practice. We're not old practice like medicine or law.
Right.
We've really only been around. DEI has only been around for a number of decades.